Hey guys, it's Barrow and I'm picking up where I left off. This is part 3 of my Skyrim walkthrough. Now, I'm wanting to get those bars set up so I can upgrade my armor. The only problem is there's a lot of people around. So what I'm going to do is a quick little easy way for non-stealing thieves to, or stealing non-thieves, there we go, I guess that works a little better. Folks who aren't specialized in stealth and stealing to get a little bit of a early
You're
start
that visitor.
early on.
Sure thing.
It's about
Orgnar.
5 p.m. I believe at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and buy a room. I'm going to sleep for about 10 hours. That'll put me at kind of late at night. And what that's going to basically do is just clear the street so I'll be able to access everything out front that I want to access. Now, since I am not a thief and I'm not part of the Thieves Guild, I'm not going to want to go, stealing anything I'm not going to use because, well, it's not going to do me any good because you can't sell it unless you specialize in either the speech perks or Thieves Guild. So since I'm not currently planning on doing either of those, switching over to the evening is a good choice. Now, you got to be careful because that little boy up there, those damn children that don't sleep, he's up there watching. So you gotta wait, you gotta watch the eye and make sure you're hidden. See, right now I'm detected, so I have to move around a little bit until, there we go, now I'm clear. So I'm gonna go ahead and steal all these. And I can, fuck. And we're good. Alright, and that'll let you get at least the early in stuff without, I mean, it's not a lot. That's a very small amount of stuff, but it helps. It lets you upgrade your weapon. It's gonna let me upgrade my starting armor, and it will keep keep the townsfolk from completely hating me. Now, granted, it's not that big a deal if you get caught for a little bit, but you definitely don't want to build up your bounty here too bad early on, because you do have to do some quests here, and that's not in bad, or not in good for you. So, alright, so I've upgraded some of that gear. Let's go ahead and make sure I am actually wearing the good gear. So I've got fine. I've got the officer's helmet on, which is the top end. Okay, bam, bam, bam. And we're doing good. So all the stuff is upgraded, and I'm set up. So we're going to go ahead and head up to complete the dungeon. Now, the dungeon's going to be just a little bit further up from where the other one was. A little bandit spot. Do keep an eye out while you're roaming around for herbs and such. Even if you're not planning on being an alchemist by trade, you can still save yourself a little bit of effort by making healing potions. It's very easy to raise your alchemy and such. You just literally pick up the stuff, go to an alchemy table, and randomly put in ingredients until you get like healing potions and such. And if you're not specializing in healing or restoration, it can really save your life if you do have alchemy, because you can basically get the magical effects without actually having to have magic. And it's a lot easier to pop potions than it is to cast spells when you're out of magic or out of mana. Like right now, since I just started, I've only got 100 mana, and healing, that'll give me one decent amount of healing, but it's really not going to be a sustained fighting tool. If I'm taking significant amounts of damage, then I'm going to run out of mana and then I'm going to get killed. So it's definitely a good thing to beef that up. Now, this is Bleak Falls Barrow. This is a quick travel location, unlike that bandit den that I cleaned out earlier. You do want to be careful here because there are bandits outside and at the first part, and then as you proceed lower into the dungeon, you're going to have dragnobs to deal with, or I have no idea how to pronounce that. So there are a lot of archers here, so you want to be careful, at least until you start to get blocking set up. Where the fuck? Okay. At least until you get blocking a little bit higher, you're not going to really be able to block arrows that well. Blocking is just mainly going to be a way to ease damage without necessarily removing it. Right now, if I get... Where the hell is that guy? There he is. Alright. Right now, if I get hit with my shield, then it's not going to block all the damage. It's going to block a small percentage of the damage, and I'm still going to take a beating. So with higher blocking skills, if you manage to block with the shield, specifically arrows, you will block all of the damage, and you won't. You're not going to take that hit. So, at least initially, it's good to get that shield up there so you can take the hits, get the skill checks, get that skill going, and then later on, obviously, it'll become a little bit more of an asset. I think I did level up, so I am going to go ahead. And I'm going to be focusing on my stamina right off the bat. I found, at least in my other playthroughs, that stamina was a big part of survival. You know, if you don't have stamina, you can't sprint, you can't run. So with stamina, just allows me to fight longer. It allows me to just in general survive a little bit longer. I do need to set up my favorites, so this is a different playthrough, so they're not all set up. Alright, with the shield, yes, mace, and then we want our heal spell. Then Q pulls that up, so there we go. And there we are. Switching is working. Well, it was. Alrighty, well that's weird. Oh well, not gonna complain. Now let's get into the meat of this dungeon. Now there's some skeevers, or whatever the little rodent, rabbit, dog things are in here. They're usually not too bad solo. They can be a pain in the ass in groups, so you want to be careful with those. Definitely don't want to get surrounded. Their tails can be used for alchemy, so like I said, if that's something that you want to work on, then you'll definitely want to pick those up. I love how these guys are bandits, but they got dead people here and they're not stripping them clean. You're doing it wrong. Now there's two bandits on the other side here that are chilling and sitting by the fire.
Go ahead, try and fight back.
Well, I'm not going to try. I'm going to fight back. Now I'm wearing heavy armor. I just prefer the heavy armor. It does make you a little bit slower until you get it perked out. But I plan on wearing a full set of Dwarven on this character, so I am going to go ahead and put on the heaviest armor I can early on. That way, you know, as time goes on, I will get that leveled up. It does help out quite a bit to pick that stuff up early. Now, just because I'm not a thief doesn't mean I can't pick locks, so, you know, you may not have the perks that go into lockpicking, but honestly, I didn't really spec in them on my thief either, so, you know, definitely pick the locks if, you know, gaining access to chests and such is a goal that you're going to want to do later on, and in all honesty, it really should be, because you will find nice items in chests later on. Don't miss these urns. A lot of them are empty here, but potions and such are invaluable when you run out of magic. Or mana. I don't know why I keep saying magic. Because nothing's worse than, you know, having an enemy down to like 5%, just need one more hit, but unfortunately because you don't have healing, you are also at 5%, and he's just a little bit better than you are. There are some nasty traps in this dungeon a little bit later on, so you want to watch out for those. If you are a stealther, there is a perk you can get that will keep pressure plates and such from triggering. So if you're planning on doing a lot of dungeons, and there's like something like 400 dungeons in this game. So that might be a good perk to get. Oh, shut up and die. stuff later on. Alright, look in here. If you'll see up in the top, we've got a snake, we've got a whale, and we've got a snake. And over here, you've got this setup. If you match these to what you see up there, then the trap won't activate. And the trap's not too bad, but... Is that a whale? Yeah, it's a whale. It does suck. If you flip this switch and you haven't, right up there, those little things will fire out a shit ton of arrows at you. And that's not a lot of fun. Now, I know soul gems can actually hold souls. There's items and enchanted weapons you can get that will recharge those. So if you actually do damage to somebody, it will recharge the soul gems. Like, it eats their soul more or less and puts it in the soul gem. And I've heard that you can use those full soul gems. Where the hell is that skeever going? Alright, well, later, dude. Heard you can use those soul gems to recharge magic weapons. A lot of magic weapons have charges. They do what they're supposed to do until you exhaust the charges, and then they don't do shit. So, might be worth looking into. Come here, skeever. You giant infected rat. We'll say it's nice not to have to run like a bitch from these, like I do on my other character. Just kind of get in here, get in the thick of it, get dirty. Definitely shortens the length of time that it requires to do these dungeons. Oh, fuck. That's the drawback, though, for this character, is the, won't be able to use the nice, easy, long-range setup. I'm gonna have to get in there and actually fight this spider. I'm not looking forward to that. Come on. Now, he does a melee attack. He also spits poison at you. You want to block the poison if you can. Alright, my stamina's getting low. Go ahead and heal real fast. Let that stamina regen. And just watch yourself with that poison spit. Doesn't really do a whole lot of damage this level, or at this early stage, but it's a good idea to get into the habit to where you can actually get to dodging those things later on. Because later on, they will get pretty nasty. And I'm just trying to strafe behind him to keep him from being able to hit me. Oh, fuck me.
Keep it away from me.
Come on. There we go. Now the double healing is working. Alright, I'll give it just a second to regen my stamina. Let's see, do I have any of those potions? Stamina. Yep. Go ahead and make that a favorite. And we'll make it a hotkey.
Keep it away from me.
Alrighty, that ought to do it. Dodge that.
Get it away from me. Get it away.
Come on, hit me, you big ugly fucker. And down he goes. Now this guy right here, obviously he's been trapped. Don't forget to search these corpses. Apparently spiders don't care about loot. Since we do, we definitely want to search them. This guy right here, he's a bandit. He's not a nice guy. He has the claw on him. Now if you let him go, he will run to the end and more or less leave you. So you don't want to let him do that. So stop him from running. Kill his ass here. He's going to trick you regardless, so as long as you take him out now, you're alright. Alright, and that pretty much is the end of the quote-unquote beginning easy part of the dungeon. From here on, you start facing the undead and a lot more serious traps. So you definitely want to be careful with some of these traps. There are a few in here that will literally one-shot you. Alright, I think I've got most everything. What do we have here? Alright. Specifically up here, there is a nasty... it's like a swing. I'll show you in a second. That right there is a Dragnob, or Dragyar, or whatever. Draugr. How the fuck did I miss that? Yeah, I'm rather terrible when it comes to melee. Alright, we got 3 of these very angry undead. I'm gonna try and funnel them back here. I believe there's a nice little narrow opening so they can't all get at me at once. Apparently I am wrong about that. Alright, I about got him. Just doing a little healing. Shield back out. That one in the back's almost down. Oh, Jesus. Holy fuck, that guy hit hard. Alright, down he goes. Like I said, remember, the blocking at this stage doesn't actually absorb all the damage, but it definitely fucking helps. So if you can, block. Alright, I'm gonna pick up that sword, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be dropping that sword later on. That's that dude. I think the other ones are right around here. That's not worth picking up. Did I kill the other one? No. Oh! Yeah, tables are turned, bitch! Alright, let's see what he's got. Amulet of Arcray. Yes, I will definitely be taking that. See, that, folks, is why you loot. Amulet of Arcray. 10 extra hit points. Not a whole lot, but hey, every little bit helps at this level. This right here is a nasty fucking trap. If you hit that, that thing will swing around and bitch slap the shit out of you. Now I plan on using it to take this little fucker out. Alright, let's swing back over here. Come on, come on, come on. Walk over the edge. Come on. Oh, he missed it! Little bastard. There he goes. Oh, he still missed it. Fucker. Yeah, if you can get that set up right, it literally just throws him through that wall over there, which is kind of badass to watch. And there's a couple more of these guys throughout here. Where is it? You have to be careful with him because there he is. And these guys do have a tendency to disease you. I don't know if it's these guys or the boss later on. But when you get done in this place, you are going to want to go through and either find an altar or something to cure your disease. I forget which one this one does, but you'll have a lot of folks in town asking you, are you feeling ill? Are you feeling sick? You're like, wow, what the fuck? What's wrong with me? So, if you go into your magics, you can actually see your effects. I'll show you that here in just a second, since I have to level up anyway. Right over here, you go to magic, you go to active effects, and you can see I've been nailed by rock joint. That's what these guys give you. And because of that, my weapon skills are 25% less effective, which really sucks for a guy like me. Alright, we're going to keep pumping stamina so that I can get in the fray longer. Okay, I can't raise blocking anymore there. Don't have quick reflexes yet. Looks like I'm going to have to get 30 skill. What about this one over here? Deflect arrows? Nope. Alright, so let's do one-handed weapons. That's my other main specialization. If I can just use the fucking interface. Alrighty, now we're golden. Crushed his head nicely. That's a fairly decent valued bow, so I'm going to probably pick that up. If I remember right, up here's a chest. Yep. And most of these chests you're going to find early on are fairly easy to pick, you know, regardless of whether or not you're specializing in lockpicking. Alright, and boom. But definitely do those early on because the EXP is huge for every time you get a skill check. Pull that chain, stops the swinging in case you need to run out, and you may here in a minute. So it definitely helps. Alright, another big ass Drognob with a two-handed weapon. Blocking his kill and crushing his face. I have a feeling that is never going to get old, ever. And if you are quick, you can do nice damage to those guys before they can get up. I unfortunately am not quick. Fuck. Forgot about those guys. Alright. Get some nice skill out of that. Now you can sometimes stun these guys by doing a power attack. You hold the button down, your guy will kind of power up like some form of creepy anime character, and you'll bust them in the face a little bit harder. You can actually stagger them. When you stagger them, they kind of fall down to their knees for a second and gives you a little bit of time to either cast a heal spell or beat the shit out of them for a couple free swings. Either way, it's a nice help. We're actually making fairly good progress through here. Got another one. See if we can stun this one. See how he kind of dropped to his right for a second there and got stunned. Definitely a nice little tactic to use. Now I don't know if that's just because they're getting kind of waking up or whatever you want to call it. So, you know, gonna have to play around with that and sort of see. Another thing is I believe raising your stamina also raises your maximum carry load. If you'll notice, I now have a 3. When I started I had 300, now I'm up to 315. So I believe for every couple points you put into stamina you get a little bit extra carry load. So if you're a pack rat like I am, and you like literally keeping every single thing you can, you're definitely going to want to raise stamina as one of your first starting stats. It's also one of your, like I said, one of your most critical stats. The more stamina you have, the longer you can sprint, the longer you can swing your weapon like a crazy man. It's just good for business. Scrolls and books. Scrolls, I believe, are one-time use. Books teach you the spell. So scrolls are nice to have, but they're not, they're not key. With books, you're actually going to keep that spell forever. So don't sell books unless you already have the spell. But scrolls, you can liquidate them. And they don't take up a whole lot of space, but sometimes, you do run low and every little bit helps. Now there is something down here. I don't think I'm really going to have the room to carry it, but I can still take you down here to show you. Where is it? There it is. Another novice chest. Now, like I said, opening those up gives you nice skill checks, which raises your levels relatively quickly. It's a legitimate method, so unlock every single door you can. And just utilize your abilities. If you're out of combat and you're hurt a little bit, cast some heal spells, raises your restoration, gives you a little bit better chance to raise your restoration skill, which obviously will raise everything else. I'm just scooping those up because I do plan on raising Alchemy a little bit for the potions. I'm not going to invest any points into the specializations, but Alchemy, I believe, is also... No, actually, it's a chanting. Never mind. What's up, you big fucker? And I'm trying to get my shield up fast enough, but not doing too well on the timing. definitely do not want to make those things angry. Just trying to get a little distance here, because two-handed weapons fucking sting. Alright, almost. Damn it. Get that shield up. There we go. Now it's time to move. And down it goes. Just try and time it with those, you know, swing once, back up, and you can dodge, or swing once, back up, and you can block. Just depends on how you want to handle it. Since I'm at the last little bit of my carrying capacity, I'm not going to be able to keep looting, sadly, so some of the stuff will get down. Now this up here, I believe, is the puzzle that I made one of my first videos on. Alright, so we had 315 carrying capacity, we now have 330 stamina. So let's see if that raises it. Yep, so for every 10 points you put into stamina, you get 5 extra carrying capacity. Good fact to know. So that's usually why I raise that first. Alright, pendulums. There is a guy that comes out here. Alright, he's down. There's another one up there on the wall. Steal his shit. Where's the little bastard? Power hit him. And down he goes. There's an archer, unless that was the archer. Nope. Fuck. That was just a power hit, followed by an execution. Executions, as far as I know, are just random. Well, these guys have some nice stuff on them. Executions, like I was saying, seem to be just purely random. So once they get below a certain percentage, you have a chance of just one-shotting them. So, and this will be the door to the chamber where... What the hell? Okay, it looked like it was down. Now, as far as I know, the pictures on the wall don't do any good. This is where you need the claw from the guy you killed earlier. The golden claw. I think that's what it's called. There it is. Alright, so with the golden claw, you, on PC, you hold your cursor over it till it's selected, drag your cursor over it, left click and hold, and you can move it around. If you press C, you can zoom in and focus on it. And as you can see, we want the bear, butterfly, and owl. So, exit out, bear, butterfly, owl. And, nope, bear, butterfly, owl. Now we've got the bear, butterfly, owl, press E, and we've opened the chamber for the final boss. Now, final boss up here also, well, not the boss himself, but the wall behind the boss gives you the power word. And I believe every shout that you do has a couple like words in it. So as you learn more of the words in the shout becomes more effective. And there's also a word on the wall in the Thieves Guild. I found that out the other day, but those are the only 2 words I've seen so far. And you'll start noticing the effect. So if you ever notice that, you can see the funky colors. Get closer to it so you can learn the word. And then right over here comes the big old boss guy. What's up? Unfortunately, the power attacks drain your stamina like nobody's business. So, I'm going to favorite those. I did another power attack and stunned him there. all my stamina potions are gone, apparently. Can get a little distance, let my stamina tick up. God, that stuff drains stamina like crazy. Come on, stamina. I let him scream, then I punched him in the face with the power hit. Power hit him again after blocking. Blocking. And power hit. And finish him. There we go. Alright, Dragonstone, you definitely want to get that. I have no idea what they're used for, but I'm sure it's special. And that axe sells for 139, so I will definitely be picking that up. I can't level, so I can't put any more stamina on, so I will have to drop something. So, let's see, what can we drop that's not really worth anything special? Steel Mace, 65, Nordbow, 45. Alright, Nordbow, you are the sacrificial lamb. Alright. Make sure you loot everything up here. Definitely want to open the chest. Orcish Mace, hell fucking yes. Oh, and iron armor. Okay, you're going to want to get these necklaces too, because they are badass. I'm probably going to loot. Oh, they're so heavy. Yeah, that iron. Alright, I'm going to end up looting it all, and we'll just see what I need to drop to make room for it. Alright, weapons. Obviously that one's the best, but we're going to go with the Orcish Mace. Get rid of the Steel Mace here in a little bit. I don't need... Let's see, that's 17, that's 14. I'll just get rid of the Mace. We still need to get rid of 40. Well, no. I don't really need that axe. 28. And drop those steel great swords, and now we're good. Alright. That is a badass looking mace. Very scary. I mean, I would not want to get gently petted by this thing. How about you guys? Anyways, that more or less concludes the dungeon, and I'll go ahead and stop the video here shortly. Once you exit from here, you can either run down the mountain or you can quick travel to Riverwood, sell your gear, resupply, and probably move on to Whiterun next. As far as I know, taking that skull, I mean, I took it in another playthrough, it doesn't do anything, so kind of up to you and your personal preference. Anyways, if you're liking the series, please click that like button, it helps me out a lot. Subscribe in the upper right hand corner so you don't miss out on any of my other videos, tips, tricks, and guides, and I'll catch y'all in part 4.